Hello and welcome to the Minimal Sizzle channel. Today I'd like to talk about the carnivore diet, some of the benefits and the potential controversies surrounding the carnivore diet. What if the daily pain, the endless medication, the feeling that your own body was failing you could actually change? For so many, getting depressed with a chronic condition feels like a life sentence, like their future's already been written by the illnesses that they have. They're told that managing it is the best that they can do and it's the best that they can hope for, and that some diseases just simply do not have an off switch. Conventional wisdom lays out this kind of path, a complicated mix of treatments, diet rules that all seem to change like the weather and promise to keep your ailments under control, but not actually fix them. But for more and more people, that path just led to more frustration. Imagine spending years following all the medical advice only to find out your health issues are still sticking around or even getting worse. Imagine the despair of trying everything or trusting the well-trodden road only to find yourself still stuck, still sick and still suffering. But what happens when the conventional path becomes a dead end? What if the answer was hiding in the most unlikely, most controversial place? What if the solution wasn't about adding more, but about taking almost everything away? Think about a diet of meat and nothing else. To a lot of folks, that sounds completely radical, like it flies in the face of everything we've been told about diet and nutrition for decades. And skepticism? Well, that's totally natural. Doctors, scientists, even your own friends and family might react with disbelief, even alarm. Oh, that's impossible, they say. Unsustainable, dangerous. And yet stories started popping up, only whispers at first, but then these stories became louder and louder. People weighed down by all sorts of conditions, the kind modern medicine really struggled with. They started talking about their experiences eating only meat, what they call the carnivore diet. And these weren't just small tweaks. People were talking about huge changes in their health. Let's take my friend Sarah. She fought debilitating joint pain for years, her world getting smaller and smaller with every flare-up. She talks about starting the carnivore diet, totally terrified, very, very skeptical, only to find herself moving freely weeks later, something she hadn't felt for decades. Or my friend Mark, his digestive issues made every meal a real gamble. He says eating only meat finally calmed his system down, giving him predictability that tons of other diets never did. Back in 2021, researchers connected with Harvard University surveyed over 2,000 people who were on the carnivore diet. And what these folks reported was a whole range of benefits. They said they were highly satisfied and saw improvements in different chronic conditions. For example, a good number of people with diabetes or insulin resistance said their conditions got better or even went away completely. Same story for many with autoimmune conditions. They reported positive changes too. Now, it's really important to remember this was all self-reported by people already on the carnivore diet. That means there's likely some positive bias, and it's not like doctors immediately verified all of it. Even the study authors said, hey, be careful how you read into these results, because there are limitations. So you have the Harvard study and you have compelling personal stories, but they're right in the middle of a huge scientific debate. Some doctors, like cardiothoracic surgeon Dr. Philip Ovadia, have talked about their own good experiences and that of his patients. They suggest that focusing on meat can really improve health, like helping with weight loss and even reversing pre-diabetes. Others bring up case studies, individual stories where people with Crohn's or psoriasis say they've seen incredible benefits. For some people who are up for it, the main idea is that the carnivore diet is like the ultimate elimination diet. By cutting out all plants, the theory goes, you're getting rid of things like lectins or oxalates, stuff in plants that some believe might trigger inflammation or autoimmune issues in certain people. The thinking is, for some individuals, these plant bits might actually be causing more harm than good. But let's be clear, most mainstream doctors and nutritionists are still very skeptical, and they have good reasons. The biggest one? There just aren't enough big, long-term, top-quality studies, the kind that are gold standard in medical research that specifically looks at the carnivore diet. A lot of what we have now is personal stories or studies like the Harvard survey. They're interesting, sure, but they can't prove cause and effect, and they can't rule out things like the placebo effect or people's built-in biases. People often worry about not getting enough nutrients. Meat's got a lot of good stuff in it, like B12, iron and zinc. But if you cut out all plants, are you missing out on fibre, vitamin C, folate and other healthy plant compounds and antioxidants? Some supporters say that your body might need different types of nutrients on the carnivore diet, or that eating organ meats can fill in some of those gaps. But honestly, that's not really been proven yet. Then there's the worry about eating a lot of saturated fat and cholesterol and what that could do for your heart longer term. Though, to be fair, the whole link is still being debated in nutritional science. And no fibre? That makes you wonder about your gut health in the long run, since fibre is what feeds good bacteria in your gut. Now, what about the claim you hear about the carnivore diet being how our ancestors ate? It's pretty complex. Sure, meat was a huge part of early human diets, and they definitely feasted after a big hunt. But a lot of evidence from anthropology and archaeology shows many ancient peoples ate both meat and plants, whatever they could find. Some newer research even hints that some early human ancestors, like Australopithecus, mostly ate plants. So the idea that humans evolved only eating meat, well, that's not really what most scientists think about prehistoric diets today. Now, even with all the controversy and unanswered questions surrounding the carnivore diet, more and more people are trying this way of eating. You go online and communities are buzzing with personal stories, before and after pics, and some pretty heated debates. People talk about not just physical change, but feeling mentally sharper and having more energy. They're getting back to doing things they thought they'd never do again. It's a powerful story. People feel let down by the usual medical advice, so they're trying something radical. They talk about improved lab results, inflammation they feel that has gone away. And again, these are only personal stories. They're not official clinical trials. But when you hear so many of them, it's hard to ignore. It's definitely making the medical world curious and maybe even a little concerned. Doctors who hear about these turnarounds from their patients, well, they find themselves in a tricky spot. Everything they've learned, all the official guidelines, all the current research, it often clashes with what their patients are passionately telling them. And that's where the shock really comes in. It's not that every doctor is suddenly on board, but they are faced with these results that the usual ways of thinking cannot easily explain. It makes you ask, are we missing something? Could it be that these diets actually work for some people, even if it's risky for others? Or are these just short-term fixes with long-term problems we don't yet know about? And it gets even more complicated because not everyone means the same thing when they say carnivore diet. Some eat eggs and dairy, others are super strict, just eating muscle meat, water and salt. And some combine organ meats to get more nutrients, and others don't. With no standard definition, it's even tougher to study it properly and come up with any solid answers. All this being said, these stories are definitely compelling. The science is still fiercely debated. So what's the real story behind these amazing transformations people are talking about? Is it real and we just don't get it? Or is it just a fad? It's like a journey into the unknown, making us rethink everything we thought we knew about food and health. It's certainly worth checking out these personal stories and looking into the developing science behind the carnivore diet from all angles. And it really does make you question what you thought you knew. In conclusion, many people with ailments were told it would be very tough or even impossible for them to reduce or mitigate their ailments and heal their bodies. But these people picked a path and went against all the usual diet advice, a path many people are still really skeptical about. And yet, the experiences they are reporting are stirring up a massive debate, making everyone rethink what is possible when people make such huge changes to what they eat. These are the stories of meat and the reports of incredible change by adopting the carnivore diet. I myself have been on the carnivore diet for over 12 months and feel fantastic. Yes, a carnivore diet has certainly helped cure many people from many ailments, and doctors are still shocked about that. I hope you found this of interest. Please like and subscribe and feel free to comment below. Thank you.